We are live, coming to you live across the It's All About the Barbecue Network. I'm Steve Crass. I am the Grill Department Manager at Wanamaker's in lovely, beautiful Downers Grove, Illinois. And the man next to me is the chairman of the board, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer Group, Mr. Ryan Hoagland.
It's All About the Barbecue Network. That's a new one.
It sounds good, though.
It's can't be the Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. It's all about the Barbecue Blackstone
Network.
and Beer Network.
Well, it is on the barbecue. It is on the It's All About the Barbecue page and YouTube channel, which if you subscribe to both, follow one, and also follow Ryan's page, Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. We can help grow the reach of this fantastic show.
We've already got 2 people watching.
Wow.
Doesn't count all of us in here, and 1 thumbs up. That's amazing to start off like that.
That's a good way to start. So
trying to. We actually have a show this week.
We get 2 guests this week from one location. Yes. Yeah. And they are great guests. It's great that they were a Chicago original. I guess they're still Chicago original, but now they're in the suburb of Chicago, Indiana. So so we got Brian and Ann, Mr. and Mrs.
Did you
Freak.
just say the suburb of Chicago, Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, without further ado,
let's bring them in.
The Freaks.
Cedar Tucky in the house. How you guys doing?
Cedar Tucky.
Suburb of Chicago. I think we're more like a suburb of St. John.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
We are doing awesome, or at least I am. I've been on the road for a couple of days, so can't speak for this one. Hey, Cat's here.
Wow. Well, and I have to apologize in advance. Our cat is determined to be on the live with us. She just celebrated her 20th birthday, so we're all about giving her everything she wants. So forgive us.
She really likes one of your two's voice, because as soon as you started talking, she woke up, got out of bed, and just decided to make an appearance. So
that's probably
we know it's not Steve. At least we agree on it, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's a cat. I thought it was going to be like a wolf would come jumping through.
We don't have any canines in the house. We figure can't do that to a 20-year-old cat. But out here in Cedar Tucky, the dogs, at least half of them in the neighborhood, run loose for the most part. So we've got lots and lots of dog friends, especially lately because we've got in our front yard a 27-foot outlaw smoker that we've been practicing hogs on. So every time they hear the garage door roll up, basically the dogs come running because they know snacks are on the way.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll get to that that smoker in a little bit, because I was chatting with Mr. Iannarone earlier today, and he was talking about something you guys are doing this coming weekend. So, but let's start with the 2 of you. I mean, a couple in barbecue. There's not too many that I know of that do competitions together. How did you guys? Who was the one that was first in love with barbecue, and how did you guys decide that this is something you guys wanted to do?
You want me to take this one?
That would be Mr. Freak. I literally grew up in a household that thought barbecuing was my dad's chicken on the Weber that was kind of burnt and open pit. No disrespect. He was an amazing Greek rotisserie lamb cooker, but the Weber and, barbecuing was really not his thing. So I was not a big fan of the smoked meats, if you will. Then comes Mr. Freak into my life.
No disrespect on open pit either. That stuff, is probably the base for a whole bunch of barbecue sauces out there in the world. It's good stuff. But I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, which people who are from around there will tell you is the barbecue capital of the world. People down in Texas certainly going to disagree with that. And I'm not taking sides anymore, but I did grow up loving to eat the barbecue. My dad was also a grill master, really good at overcooking chicken, did an awful lot of that. But actually smoking meats wasn't something that I really got into until much later in life. But our interest started on a beach somewhere in Greece way back in probably 2008. And Ann and I worked together at the time, and we'd gone on a vacation from corporate America, and we were just kind of daydreaming about wouldn't it be great if we could just be together all the time working instead of, being in this corporate monolith and having to live that grind? And the dream that we came up with there by the seaside was to open a bed and barbecue, which is basically the same thing as a bed and breakfast, except instead of breakfast, you're going to learn and eat barbecue. And obviously that's happening in the evening instead of in the morning. And way back then, this was all, of course, way pre-COVID. I imagined this as an urban thing that would attract solo male business travelers, primarily guys who'd stayed at every possible hotel chain, but were just looking for a different experience. So we came home, bought that URL, still sitting on it, still working on our bed and barbecue concept, but part of our relocation out here to Northwest Indiana is about being able to do that. We've got a little more space out here and room to grow, but that was the beginning of the dream. Didn't really get rolling down that path until the year 2014. I had just managed to extract myself from corporate America for just about a month at that point. And Ann and I decided to enter the neighborhood barbecue competition.
No, Brian decided to enter the neighborhood barbecue competition. Meet on Milwaukee at Six Corners in the Portage Park neighborhood.
That is true. I decided. Ann was like, okay, whatever you say, I will help you out if you want. So I went on Amazon and bought an 18-inch WSM, or Weber Smoky Mountains, for those of you who don't know. Got another one like the next day out of the alley. It was just perfect serendipity there, because, all right, I've got 2 Weber Smoky Mountains now. I had about a week to use them both a couple of times, and all we had to turn in was chicken and ribs. So went off to this competition with no real idea what we were doing. It was super intimidating because there was probably 11 teams there, but they all looked like they knew what they were doing. They had trophies and all this stuff.
They had big smokers,
huge offset smokers,
huge.
And we're just looking at each other, and I'm like, oh shit, Ann, I think we're in trouble. And sure enough, the cook didn't go all that well. It was about 45-mile-an-hour winds whipping up Milwaukee Avenue that particular day, and we were set up in front of the Fantasy Funland costume shop, right in front of a picture of Jason and Freddie. Yeah. Jason and Freddie Krueger are painted on the window right in front of our spot. The wind's blowing 40 miles an hour. I had this flimsy 12x12 pop-up. I bought at Aldi because it was like $89. It lasted 4 seconds. The thing just snapped in half, flipped and rolled down the street. I'm surprised it didn't actually kill anybody.
Pro tip: invest in a decent pop-up. It'll pay dividends.
Yeah. Our second pop-up is still going all these years later, but our first one lasted about 4 seconds. So first lesson learned. Second lesson learned. I was rolling in. I had my bottle of mustard, the 3-2-1 method. I was ready to totally rock that thing out because, I had the internet by then and read a couple of things. So I was ready to be a pit master, right? So any of you have cooked on a WSM know that in a 40-mile-an-hour windstorm, they have their challenges. So my plan to cook it nice and low at 225 was very suddenly not going very well at all, because both these WSMs were running about 375. My food's already in them. I'm like, oh man, I think we're going to be in trouble here. We might get done a little too early. So I, at one point, looked at Ann. I said, we got no business being here. We should just pack this shit up and go home before we embarrass ourselves.
It was a lot more dramatic and colorful than that. And
that's the PG version.
Yeah, and I looked at this man and said, you have gotten us into this. We are going to finish what we started. Let's figure it out.
So I learned to cook hot and fast that day. Is basically what happened. And a few hours later, we had first place in ribs, and I think third in chicken or something like that. But the ribs turned out amazing. Back in those days, I was wrapping with like pure bacon fat and
putting hot
pepper jelly in there. And I still bring that recipe back every now and then and throw it at the KCBS people just to see if it still works. And so that's a good one. I highly recommend it. Don't remember what rubs I was using back then. But that was the beginning of it all, like most people who get hooked on this thing, someone hands them a trophy and they decide, oh man, this is what I should be doing.
Yeah. That's why I got out of it. We didn't get the trophies. You know, I remember cooking turkey and losing by 1/100th, 1/1000th of a point or something like that. I don't know who I
Funny,
lost
I
to.
remember that too.
And you know, Ryan, smoke freaks have been on the other side of that.
So
With,
many
like,
times.
losing by hundreds, thousands of points. That's
Oh,
just so
The year
disheartening.
the
you
year
know?
2017 in KCBS, I think we had like 10 third places overall. We just kept missing it by that much. We went to Effingham a bunch and we ended up there third place a couple years in a row. And eventually, you know, just like we got to find a way to break through on this thing. I'm tired of being third.
So,
Yep.
who came up with the name Smoke Freaks? I mean, was that the original name, or what was your original name that you were WSMing with?
Well, Brian, on the entry form for that competition, had to submit a team name, and well, we didn't have a team name, and we kind of thought about that for a minute. Our personal brand before barbecue, Brian and Ann Neale, are known as the Blissing Freaks. So Brian borrowed a page from our, personal brand story and submitted the team Smoking Freaks.
Nice.
At awards, they called first place ribs Smoke Freaks, and Brian was all excited, and I was cautious of how could there be a Smoke Freaks? We're Smoking Freaks. What are the odds? And he's like, let's go get our trophy. I'm like, that's not us. Anyway, we got the trophy. It was us, and the name stuck. We thought it sounded pretty good.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
But someday we have one banner that says the Smoking Freaks that we made for that particular event. I haven't seen it in years. I think it's in the wolf wagon somewhere under the bed, probably.
So I got to put that up in the Barbecue Hall of Fame. You know, that's the relic.
Yeah, I mean, so many people have who have gotten into competition. You know, that's kind of how it happens. Somebody talked them into getting into it, and then they got a little bit of taste of success, and
The hook sets deep.
that sets the hook. But then it's really the
Right.
barbecue family that keeps you coming back. You know, once you get out there and you make all these friends. We had a good friends, Tom and Becky McIntosh, and at our very first or second KCBS event, they kind of took us under their wing and helped us know what's what. And Becky described that as the whole deal is camping with a purpose. And that always stuck with us because it's really what it feels like. You know, all the same people just go camping in a different parking lot every weekend. And, you know, there's some purpose to it all. Sometimes it's just trash talking, but one person always gets to be the last one on stage.
I want to say that was Union Grove, and it was Becky who invited us and included us in our very first 922
It was
toast.
Madison Magazine.
Was it Madison?
Yes.
Okay.
A
We had no
Joe
idea what a
Carey
922
Jackie
was.
event. Yeah. It was our very first thing. We entered the 4 meats and then an ancillary category.
Bourbon, anything
That was anything bourbon.
with bourbon.
Yeah.
And they gave you the bourbon.
And they gave
Beam.
you
Yeah.
Yep, got a big old bottle of Beam, and we made some. I guess it was an ancillary event.
Yep.
But we made some kind of lamb chops, and
Some
they were
Bourbon
really
glazed
good.
lamb chops.
We got a nice call on that, our first check, and I think we got a rib call maybe that day too. And then then the hook was really set deep.
Yeah, right.
Go out and buy a pickup truck. And,
Brisket.
was it brisket?
Joe gave us our first
How about
check.
that?
Yeah.
That's
It was brisket.
So then the next spring rolls around, and
My cup here.
His cup.
oh, he's got the lucky latitude.
Oh, I forgot I got mine in the cabinet. I forgot to get mine out. Oh well.
Well,
Nice.
Steve.
Ann and I are rocking the wolf koozies.
We
as
are
usual.
rocking the
Wolf
wolf
koozies.
I love
Yeah.
koozies. Yes. No, I brought all my stuff down here. We'll get to this too. I mean, how this all started and everything.
Yay.
Lighters indeed. Yeah. So
Lighters indeed.
we one of our, I think, first big competitions we do, and I got to give this man a lot of credit for helping me get started in barbecue, and that is Jared Leonard. He's not around Chicago anymore, but he started a restaurant up on the north side called Rub.
Yeah.
And that place, they had a genuine Texas oiler smoker, and Jared had just worked his butt off to learn how to cook stuff right. His brisket was probably the best going in Chicago at the time. And I'd taken a class from him that Ann bought me for Valentine's Day, I think it was, right after that first
Groupon.
competition, maybe the first year. Yeah, it was a Groupon. That's how long ago that was. It was a Groupon.
Yeah, Groupon.
And, we learned some tricks from him, and he had a competition that year at Soldier Field. I think it was the second time he had ever done it, called the Windy City Barbecue Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our first 4-meat event, our second contest ever after the Meat on Milwaukee thing. And, we really had started practicing at that point. We still had the WSMs, but I had bought a Gateway drum smoker at that time. And I think we had one other thing. Oh, we had an old PK grill. My dad's PK grill from the 70s. And that was our chicken machine. And then, we were doing the other things on the drum and the smoker. But it turned out to be an amazing day for us as the new people. First of all, that barbecue family was really cemented that day because we were right across from a team called Risky Brisket. And I know you know those guys. And if you know Sean and probably Larry too, back in the day, those guys gave us a hard time relentlessly because we were so serious about everything we're doing and calling out temperatures and logging them and all this. And they're just making total fun of us. On the other side of us, we had smoke hunters who were really active at the time, and they were just killing it, super great cooks. Even now when they show up, even if they haven't been out for 3 years, you got to look out for them because they're really good. But they both gave us a ton of help, just, understanding some basic concepts like don't try and pick things up with welding gloves. You need to get you some cloth and put the nitrile over them, and here you go, use these. And at the end of the day, we had a pretty darn good day. I know we got a brisket call. We had, where were we? Third place in pork.
Third place overall.
And third place overall. Yep, I will never forget it. Captain Ron Lewin won it all that day, I believe.
Yeah.
He was reserve, is that right? Winners was first. Big days though for us, and boy, there was nothing gonna stop us after that. We had to run out and buy a pickup truck and a trailer, and started getting a bunch of Hunsaker drums. And the next year, we were pretty hardcore after that.
Yeah, so, I remember watching the videos. The videos of you guys would make of the freak tour across the country doing your
freakage tour.
Yeah. I go way back. Yeah,
it's crazy looking back on it. We would spend probably, I don't know, close to 100 nights a year sleeping in that trailer out on the road, chasing the barbecue dragon around.
First time we took that trailer out, a 26-something foot toy hauler, the Wolf Wagon.
We were coming out of Kewanee, Illinois.
After
the comp. Yep.
We'd done okay.
We were
a top 10 overall or something. And our Wolf Wagon trailer gets rear-ended.
Ooh.
We're going 35 miles an hour down the road. I don't know how you rear end a house on wheels, which is basically what this thing is.
So distracted driving.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
A young woman with an actual, like an infant in the back seat. Everyone was okay. So it was super scary, what just happened, and there's other people involved. Is everybody okay? And, everyone was okay, fortunately. It took us a while, many, many weeks to get that bumper.
Yeah, it took months to get that trailer back together. So you just couldn't get the parts. So we just wound up. It was wrecked, and we just kept dragging it all over the Midwest anyway for the next few months. I think we did 25 events that year, and yeah, for sure there was no turning back after that until life starts to tell you, maybe that's a little too much to be doing every year.
Exactly.
I know you brought up Risky Brisket, but if you've done one contest this year, you're higher than the standings than they are. So
yeah, well, we haven't done one KCBS this year. We were down at Memphis in May. We cook a lot of events now with John Bobinet from Steamboat because we really, really love the MBN format. Love cooking whole hogs, but I mean, look at us. Ann and I can't even lift a 150-pound hog on a 200-pound rack with prep in it into the smoker. It'd kill us to try. So it's really great going out with him. That man's taught me most of what I know about pork and everything I know about cooking whole hog. So it's just always a blast to go out with him, Michael Utt, and some of the other folks who are on that team. And we've been doing Murfreesboro together. Sometimes we compete against each other. Sometimes we pair up. But we've been doing that together probably since 2018, I would say.
The last several outings.
Yep. Been there almost every year, and we've just gotten to really, really love that event that's coming up. So that's what we're practicing for right now is the Murfreesboro event. We're going to be doing all 3 of the MBN categories. Our buddy Steve, who you mentioned, he's going to cook all the KCBS stuff. And then Ann and I will also be into the SCA events that they've got at the same time. So it's going to be a jam-packed weekend of cooking.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan. I'll let you talk.
I was just going to say, I mean, we got you here with the whole hog.
Oh, there it is.
There's Hoss.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is Big Hoss.
This was our most recent cook in the driveway.
Yep, our 5th cook on this machine, and we finally figured it out. Yeah, I'm not going to give it away, but we were making one fatal mistake that was just holding us back. We still managed to do okay down at Memphis. We got 11th overall. 4th cook?
I think that was the 4th cook.
Either way,
we
finally nailed it. So we know what we're doing now. We got one more
cook.
chance to practice this weekend coming up, but I just love cooking hogs hot and fast. We're getting them done in 8 hours. And I just can't even have imagined doing that a year or 2 ago. You know, a hog that size would take us at least 14, 150 pound, be more like 18 at 19 hours. But yeah, to be able to cook 120 to 140 pound hog in 8 hours is just amazing.
Well, you guys got to do, if my memory serves me correctly, with Mr. Bovanet, I think you guys actually got to walk the stage for the 3rd place hog, I think, that year.
Yeah.
Which is, a lot of people don't get to walk the stage at Memphis in May.
In the world, whole hog.
Yeah.
What an honor. What a moment.
That was our goal, was to get down there and get on stage, and we really put everything we had into it that last year. We thought we had it figured out this year, but man, we just fell a little bit short on a couple of critical things. Had a rough night cooking overnight and ran into some problems. Don't want to say we dropped our hog, but we dropped our hog.
It's not easy to practice hog,
No.
It's not easy to just, let's just do hog tomorrow.
Yeah. You know? And it's not easy to get all the dirt off a wet hog. You just roll around.
Just turn the heat up a little bit. I was going to say, I didn't mean to put that up there yet, but
I know
get to that. I know those freaks. Yeah.
I know them.
So, what made you take the turn? What made you take the turn from doing the full KCBS and the MBN and all that other 4 meets, hauling all the equipment around and this and that, to switch into steak?
Yeah, you first.
Yeah. So, COVID kind of changed things for a lot of us. A lot of events were getting canceled at the time, and life was, changing, a lot of uncertainty. That's where our COVID project was actually the flavor guide. But in that time, we didn't have the same competitions to go to. And then, slowly as things started opening up back a little bit more, we realized our life had kind of changed and didn't allow what I kind of call the Wednesday shuffle, the Wednesday of chasing, the fake butter in a blue bottle and the kale and all the stuff you need to, get all of your 4 meats together. Mm-hmm. Our lifestyle just doesn't really allow that right now. There's something kind of nice about the steak circuit, where the steak is provided. You show up with your grill, your charcoal, your stuff, your flavors, and you rock and roll. Usually same day competitions, so a lot less time on the road. More conducive to our lifestyle right now, and a really fun format. We've enjoyed that. It's been fun to challenge ourselves with something new. It's been fun and different. We're very supportive of each other. We're a team. We're smoke freaks. Mm-hmm. But in SCA, we actually compete against each other. Right. So again, we're really supportive. I'm his biggest fan, and vice versa. But
kicks my butt all the time.
We're keeping score.
We're keeping score. The score is officially tied, 7-7 in our head-to-head battles. But she's way higher in the standings than I am on way fewer cooks. Like, you've cooked 11 times this year?
13.
13? Yeah. She's higher than anybody who's cooked that few contests in the whole country. So she's just killing it, and I'm just trying to figure out, how does she do it? I'm using the same thing, sometimes the same grill. She's the detail freak, and SCA really rewards that attention to detail thing.
Focus.
I'm more of a cook from the hip kind of guy. I'm the one who develops most of our flavor profiles, but when it comes to trimming a pretty steak, she's just gonna beat me at that every single time. But back to your question about the KCBS thing, for me, it was just really getting hard to make a living and hard on my body. A lot of times we would roll home at, midnight, 1 a.m. on a Sunday night from a double competition somewhere. And then I'm trying to be down at Wichita packing at 6 o'clock in the morning Wednesday or on Monday, because that's when the ribs came in. So, that was my big category. So I always, was trying to get there before anybody else could, before they shipped out to all the restaurants, and try and get a couple of good ones off the top of the pile. So then Tuesday comes around, trimming pork butts. Wednesday's here. We got to trim chicken. And it just got to where I'm like, I'm trying to run a consulting business here, but I'm not really giving my clients much time. This isn't how you're supposed to do it. So SCA's made it a lot easier to focus on our various other business interests beyond Smoke Freaks. And, we got to retire someday. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, barbecue competitions don't pay the bills for more than like 5 or 6 people in the country, probably.
Yeah.
So we got from the chat here, Mr. Jeff Nichols wants to know, what's your all-time favorite food to smoke?
Ooh, you've heard.
I got some ideas. So lately I've been into barbecue smoked appetizer, side dish kind of things. Obviously the 4 meats and all that, and we're big into steak, but there's something really fun about busting out, shotgun shells, or we call them atomic wolf turds, is our own, special little version of ABT. They just have more freakage than BT. That's the only difference. I just ran some smoked bacon wrapped Oreos, and I know it's ridiculous, but they were so good, and I'm doing them again tomorrow. Smoked queso is, I have so many people request it, and so many people just really enjoy it. It is good, and I enjoy that kind of stuff right now. It's just kind of fun variety.
And for me, I don't think I couldn't hope to narrow it down to one. When I'm cooking for other people, I really like doing ribs, just because I've never met anybody who isn't blown away by them, including people I compete against. I can just really make a great rib at this point, because I've cooked hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, not just for mass production, but trying to make every one of those hundreds perfect. So I've got that game pretty dialed in at this point. If it's me eating, I definitely to me, there's nothing better than like a smoked rack of lamb. I think it's just a fantastic thing, especially on a drum cooker. I like to hang them from a hook over the coal basket, leave a lot of fat on them. So, I don't French mine. Ms. Freak here, she always Frenches the lamb rack.
It's worth it.
I leave everything on because I want as much fat as possible to drip down into the fire. And for me, lamb fat is just a special barbecue flavor that you don't really get from anything else that I cook. And then finally, I got to say, for the challenge of it, I love cooking hog, because that to me is that is Mount Everest of barbecue. If you can cook a whole hog and get all parts of that thing right, you've really, really accomplished something. And, I don't know if it's possible to cook a perfect hog, but with John Bobinet, we've come pretty close on an awful lot of them that are just, mind-blowing to eat, and, look beautiful and all that. So that's my answer. Sorry, I had to go a little long with that one.
That's all right.
Oh, I get nervous with brisket, let alone a whole hog. So I couldn't even imagine.
There's something about building a blind presentation box for a whole hog at Memphis in May that makes you realize that your previous anxiety over a pork box for KCBS was just totally ridiculous.
Yeah, you have to go through so much. It's funny you mentioned brisket. I bet you if you ask most KCBS cooks what's the easiest, most uneventful cook they have, most of them will tell you it's their brisket cook. Because of all of the 4 meats, that's the one that really, if you're cooking them hot and fast, you've got it all dialed in. You're cutting it to a specific size. You're flipping at a specific interval. And it's basically going to cook the same every single time if you're buying consistent meat. Like if you're cooking A9 or Snake River Farms or wherever it is, and stick with that one thing, you'll get to where you can be within 5 or 10 minutes on a brisket cook of when that's going to finish. which, for me, 5 to 10 minutes window is what I'm looking for on ribs. It's amazing that something that cooks, a little bit longer, not that much longer really for us. We can cook a brisket in 3 hours, no problem. So, but that cooks just kind of super easy for us because there's not much mystery to it. There's only, one place I need to get done is the middle of that thing. It's not like pork shoulders where you're managing 2, 3 of those things and trying to get certain parts at a certain temperature. So don't be nervous. That's my point. Just cook more.
Don't be nervous.
Cook more.
I will. I'm gonna cook it as soon as I get my smoker up and running.
Right.
Throw it on that Blackstone. You'll do something fantastic. I just know it.
I have a guy that actually did one. And I'm sorry if my son's too loud in the background. I don't know if you've been able to hear him or not.
Okay.
I don't hear him.
Okay, that's good.
He's playing video games.
I got a cat head sitting here. So
I
would take the cat head right now, but
y'all thought cat heads was biscuits. Nah, it's right here. Cat heads.
I do have a buddy of mine, Mr. Leprechaun TV, that did smoke a brisket on a Blackstone.
Wow.
I'm good with that. I
18
mean,
hours.
slice it thin.
Put it on
Oh,
there.
he tried to cook it whole?
No, he cooked a whole brisket on the Blackstone.
With what? Like a big cover over it?
He put a dome over the top and threw some wood chips right onto the Blackstone, which then smoked them itself. He had the brisket up on like a little warming rack, so it wasn't just burning.
You guys know Scotty Johnson, one of Chicago's world champion barbecue guys. So I was at a comp where that guy did the whole thing on a PK grill.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was awesome. It wasn't last place either.
No, I wasn't there, but I remember him. I remember he was cooking with the bus, I think, at the time, and I think he last minute entry, and all I had was my PK or something like that.
He helped make the comp qualifier.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah,
cooked it all on a PK. I think it was grilled brisket slices or something.
So Brian, will you check and see? I think Nick is in the queue. Is he in the queue?
I see Brian. Is the name
Brian?
Here?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick little break. You guys can you can stay on. We can leave the freaks on. I think we can do 4 on the screen, right?
Yeah.
But I have
whatever.
I have Brian from Operation Barbecue Relief. I have him coming on live from. Oh, I got Nick and Brian.
What's up?
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Double trouble. What's up, everybody?
I'll do a little brand change here real quick.
Yep, we're gonna change the logo up. But this is Nick and Brian. They're heads of culinary with Operation Barbecue Relief, and those guys right now are down in Live Oak, Florida, kicking some ass. And pardon my language, but you got the volunteers kicking out some heavy meals, huh?
Oh yeah. We've had some really great days, done some really great things for these people that are affected by Hurricane Idalia.
Now, how long you guys have been down there? First of all,
I think this is day 9. So, Steve, I don't know if you know, this is actually my hometown, Live Oak, where I live, not my hometown. But, are we there?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, you're still here. Sorry, I'm just throwing stuff up on the screen.
We got billboards happening, man. Free promotion.
I thought you guys disappeared on us. So,
no.
So, yeah, moved up here a couple of years ago. So, never really expected that you deploy to your own hometown, and we were fortunate. We lost power for 8 days, just got it back at our house, but luckily enough, whole house automatic generator saved the day. That we didn't lose anything, had air conditioning, so it was nice. A lot of unfortunate people around here still don't have power. I think it's 14% of the Suwannee County doesn't have power. So, but wow, other than that, it's
someone's getting a phone call.
Yeah, that's me. It never stops here.
It's Stan wanting to know what the heck you're doing.
Hey, and he's here today.
He did just get here. That's great.
So
on the screen.
I know OBR is always looking for donations, so I did just throw it here in the chat for anybody out there. I know it's a long whole thing on there, but anybody wants to donate, I'm sure every donation definitely helps with everything you guys are doing down there.
Thank you for what you're leading down in Florida.
Donations are great, and donating your time is great as well. we've been a little shorthanded here lately, but we've just got incredible people here, and just the drive and the passion of our volunteers on the ground to get these One Hot Meals That Matters out to this community and this area. I mean, it's really widespread here. I mean, there's 4 or 5 counties majorly affected in very rural areas, so it's challenging. I mean, we've set up multiple distribution sites around here to get the meals out, and it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience.
Steve, you were in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and you remember how many people we had on site and the amount of meals we're producing. This one's not much different. We're actually doing a little bit more amount of meals, but we're kind of doing it with the same numbers that we did there. So you know how difficult that is to produce that much food, and our team started to get tired, and Nick came in, and Joey and Dwayne are kind of relieving us, so we can flip out and get some rest. And it's Florida hurricane season, so there's a couple more storms that are coming this way, so we'll be ready.
Yeah, for people that don't know, from being down there, when you're unloading the pits, if you don't have a lot of people, what they end up doing is throwing the pork shoulders and stuff like that in coolers, and then the coolers have to be dragged over to the processing area, where they're then processed and sauced and put in Cambros and then moved out to the line so they can be distributed to everybody. And if you don't have enough people and you have to pull double duty, which I think, Nick, you might remember some of that last year when we were in Port Charlotte. Nick and I were doing a lot of double duty towards the end of my last day there. I think Nick yelled at me for once, and I just one time.
Steve, I think we've done that in more places than just there and here, and it's going to continue to happen. But I mean, I hate to keep harping on it, but it's just the resiliency, and you kind of find that inner deep, that next gear to make it happen. You have people out here just it's nuts. And today it was really hot, and we had one of my famous kitchen cleaning days, Steve. So you know how taxing that is. But of course it's going great, and we're making it happen here.
This deployment has grown so much that we've remodeled the kitchen 5 times. It's grown and grown and grown because we never thought we'd be doing 30,000 meals here.
Yeah, no, I know. I talked to Nick before this because I can't go. I'm here. I have something I got to do this weekend, and then I don't have any vacation time left because I'm going down to see my son get his ring from the Citadel at the end of the month. So I'm using all my vacation time as vacation. Usually I save a week to go make sure I have for Operation Barbecue Leaf, and this time I don't. And we were kind of throwing around, who's that?
Jeremy Bruce.
Hey, Mr. Bruce. So anyway, so I was talking to Nick, and he was thinking somewhere around 15,000. I'm like, okay, well that's not a real heavy load. And then I'm seeing meals of 30 to 35,000 during a day, and I'm like, holy cow, they're doing some big boy meals down there, and I'm sad that I can't get down there to help you guys out, but this year's not working out right.
Unfortunately, we'll see each other again. You know that. We don't like to say that, but disasters are going to happen.
But I mean, you got to think of it this way too, Steve. I mean, you're serving by allowing us to come on to your show tonight and talk about what Operation Barbecue Relief's doing, and to kind of hear from us and hear the stories on the ground. And maybe it might not bring you down here on this go around, but maybe somebody watching this show tonight pops up and starts volunteering just because they hear the stories and they want to be a part of this special thing.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. If anybody hasn't done it, it's a fun experience. To me, it's life changing. Obviously my first one was 2018, and I've been on 6 or 7 of them since then. And I don't want to say I look forward to it, but once hurricane season starts, you start watching the news and the weather forecast, and a lot of it has to do with one, providing the meals and the service and that to the people that are affected. But then the other thing is to Nick and Brian, who are sitting there, you get to see family that you you usually don't get to see until like once a year, and unfortunately, it's during a disaster season. And as Brian and Ann were saying, barbecue family, and you look forward to that, and you look forward to seeing all the people that you make new friends the family just keeps growing every deployment.
Absolutely.
So
you guys get some nice people. I mean, people coming all down there to, some throwback pictures here.
That's awesome.
Those are some old pictures.
Yeah.
That's some old pictures.
Yeah.
We don't wear cowboy hats now, I don't think.
Well, we know you guys are definitely missing Steve down there because he's probably good for just cleaning the kitchen. But
I run the place, Ryan. I keep track of the numbers and make sure the meals get out. That's my.
He
that's
orchestrates what he likes to call the pork palace.
The pork palace, right?
He's the king of the pork palace.
King of the pork palace, right?
It's a family show here, so we'll keep it like that.
Well, anyway, well, what do you guys? What's on the? What numbers you guys running tomorrow? What are you guys looking at for tomorrow?
We're right at 20. We're at 20,000 tomorrow, so we had some numbers drop, but they're expecting them to go back up some during the weekend. So post power's back on. People start getting to normalcy again. So that's a good thing.
Right. So you guys looking at Hurricane Lee, or is it you think that's turning off?
Is that like the emergency room where it's like, it looks like it's going to be a slow night? Just don't say that, Steve. What are you doing?
Well, obviously you start paying attention to that, and obviously my little CNN thing will go off, and I just saw it was upgraded to a Category 5, and it's not even near the land yet, so it's got a couple of days left to churn. So they're thinking it might reach 160 mile an hour winds and then come back down to about 145, but as I always say, if you can tell me the difference between 165 and 145, then you're a better person than I am, because neither one of them sound good. So,
well, I will say, Rick's first cook was 145. So
yeah.
I will say, in all seriousness, we are strategically staging additional equipment and have been in talks for some new re-up of supplies in case something does happen. I mean, obviously, we're very cognizant of the path, but we've found a really good sweet spot in figuring out how to stay out of the way safely, but also ensure rapid response. So if something does happen, OBR will be there.
And I think I might be there too, because I will take the money out of my pocket for that. I told Nick, I told him that I hate to say it, but there's going to be a bigger one down the road. I mean, this is just. It peaks this weekend. Hurricanes, if anybody doesn't know, hurricane season peaks in the middle of September. So this is when it probably will get really exciting. So, but well, Nick, you were at Memphis in May. Brian and Ann were at Memphis in May, and
awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
we missed it somehow.
Yeah, they were doing whole hog. I don't think were you doing whole hog, Nick, or what?
I was doing whole hog as well. Yeah. What team did y'all compete with?
Steamboat Barbecue. Out of
okay. Y'all were down. I mean, with all the. So I really was this your first time in Memphis in May? Let me ask.
No, sir.
No. Okay. I just was curious. I really loved. Some people didn't like it. I loved how they sectioned off the whole hog division. It was like we didn't have I love the foot traffic, but it was a lot smoother. And I remember exactly. I mean, all the hogs are by each other. I was with Barbecue Republic, so we were kind of that little point, So it was great. I loved it. It was
I like being by the stage.
We were by the stage.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was really awesome. I mean, literally, y'all didn't have to leave your booth to watch.
We didn't leave the booth.
Yeah, Master Flash from our
and I didn't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying it was a nice.
No, it was a sad way. Yeah, 11th. Must have been 11th. We were.
Farther away you're stationed at is the closer you get to the stage at the end.
Sometimes it works that way. Yeah, we just didn't have quite what we needed for our live presentations. We were a little bit off, but we got it all dialed in now, so we're ready to go down to Murfreesboro and do it all again.
Well, good Lord willing, and Hurricane Lee don't rise. I will see you in Murfreesboro as well, so we'll have to meet up and connect. That'd be amazing.
Awesome.
Looking forward to
Very
it.
good.
Yeah.
If you do, you got to make sure you get yourself one of these, though.
Yeah, they'll get you a lucky lighter.
Murfreesboro will give you one of these.
Give you
Hey,
the
we're all about we're all about any kind of little superstitious action. So we'll definitely take anything we can get.
yeah.
Yeah, Brian doesn't get one.
People can do
Back here, what's
You've never even pulled off the sticker.
There might be something inside that sticker, dude.
You don't know.
So, all right, guys. I'll let Brian and Nick get back to the war room and figure out what they're gonna. What do you guys get? Are you cooking anything good tomorrow? Are we doing briskets? Did you guys get briskets this time?
No briskets. No briskets. Unfortunately, this time we're working on some things. Tomorrow we're doing a pork loin with a mushroom gravy. It's going to be really nice. We made it up today, and then we're doing a southwestern corn. Just kind of throwing some peppers and onions in there, just to kind of mix it up, give them a little color, if you will, a little variety. Just to kind of put it over the top. And then we've developed a new recipe, Steve. And I don't know if you've tried this yet, but we've been running a pastelaya for dinner service. And we're actually doing that tomorrow night. So everybody's super excited. And we may or may not be pulling a couple of pans off to the side for the volunteers later. So it's going to be a great thing.
That sounds really good. John David holding that. Is he still there, or did he?
He had to hit the road. He's actually coming to your neck of the woods this weekend. He's got an event, so or a softball tournament. So, but he cut out when I got here. He was like, "High five, good luck." But no, he did great, and he's disappointed about the pastelaya because that's his thing.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I know he likes to eat. Period. So if it's one of his favorites, I can't even imagine.
As long as he can get the plastic off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys shoot out if people want to make a donation, where they want to go, and if they want to volunteer, how they sign up, and we'll let you guys get back to work then.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. Pleasure to meet everyone else, and look forward to maybe connecting in Murfreesboro. Come see the great pig in the sky.
Thank you for everything you guys do.
So where do people go to get more info about OBR?
So they go over to www.obr.org or operationbarbecuerelief.org, and they can go to the volunteer tab to sign up as a volunteer. And then for this deployment, go to Hurricane Idalia, sign up, and you'll get a email from our team on directions on what to do next, or go to that donate tab and help us carry out our mission. And we appreciate everything we can to continue going, doing what we do.
And if I remember correctly, signing up to volunteer, there's background and screening and everything like that as well. So if anybody's out there is watching this, whether you're watching this live now or you're watching a replay later, sign up to volunteer now. Get your background, get your screening done, do whatever you have to do now. Even if you can't make it out to an event to help out, there's stuff that you can do behind the scenes to help out. You can spread the word with your Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, anything like that, TikTok. Help raise money. It's such a great cause and a great event. You just can't beat what you guys do down there for everybody that's in need. So again, we thank you for everything you guys are doing, and all the volunteers that are down there now. I know I did sign up myself to volunteer. The wife's already on my case with enough stuff that I do, but one day I will be able to get away and get down and actually volunteer in person.
Right.
It's
worth it.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Nick. All right, Brian. Nice to see you guys. Good luck. Keep it up.
See ya.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
All right. They had a little break, so I squeezed them in.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing OBR.
Yeah, it's a great group, and I highly recommend, if you haven't volunteered, to please do it. It's a life-changing experience. Just the fact that, if you're looking at 35,000 meal, it's 35,000 people that like tomorrow they said they're doing 20 to 25 or something like that. That's 20 to 25,000 people that you're going to help in one day. That's a lot of people. If you just look around some of the suburbs here in Chicago, that's like feeding a whole suburb, some of the smaller ones. So You can make a difference. It's a real easy way to make a difference. And if you love barbecue, it's fun. You get to meet a lot of great people like Nick and Brian, and there's a whole bunch of others I could list off and name, but it's a great thing to do. So
I think I
I
grabbed the
can't
right
even
one.
imagine what it takes
That's it.
logistically to pull off that kind of volume that they're able to do. I mean, obviously, I've learned a lot over the years, but even from day one down in Joplin, it's just amazing how much food they can put out.
Yeah, we did last year in Port Charlotte. The most we did was like the third or fourth day we did. Wasn't a record, but it was close to the record. We were around like 53,000 meals in one day. But you had, we had 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 smokers, 11 the big Old Hickory smokers. We had Old Hickory's. They call it Boss Hog. I think it's Boss Hog. That'll hold up to 200 pork butts. So we had that running, and you filled them all up, and sometimes you got to turn them. So it's a matter of unloading them because you can't get 50,000 meals out of one turn. So you would do pork shoulders or brisket or something overnight, and then you'd pull all that off in the morning. And as you're processing it, halfway through the processing, they'd start loading on something that would take a little bit less time to cook, so that you can make up the balance of the meal. So it's kind of it's neat just to go and watch the orchestration of how everything flips. And yes, Ryan, that's what I'm in charge of doing, is watching and is orchestrating the flipping and someone's got to be in charge of the flip and the making sure everything's going the way it's supposed to go.
Logistics, for sure.
Logistics, yeah.
Huge part of barbecue.
I just can't believe this whole time I've sat here and just thought I had a sticker on the back.
Well,
let's.
They all say something. They all say something on the back.
They started saying something, I think 3 in.
Yeah, the third generation Lucky Lighter, which is the one right before the one Ryan's holding up. That's when we first started rolling out messages under the sticker. Wasn't available to us until then. We had to reach sufficient volume of lighter ordering to unlock backside.
I remember the vote or whatever it was that everybody to petition to sign up and vote in to have Bic or somebody actually print the Lucky Lighter. Yeah, there was a big commotion.
It was glorious. Yeah. Oh my God.
It was a big deal, and Barbecue Family once again saved the day for the Lucky Lighter League.
Dylan Light from Flavor Anonymous wrote the most hilarious petition on that whole thing. I mean, he went on for pages, and every sentence of it was just a riot. But very well organized, and he made his points very, very well. So, we had a great time doing that, and we got our lighters in time, it was all good. Yeah. It all worked out.
So, Ryan, are you going to ask the question? I mean, you're going to ask how the Lucky Lighter got started?
I was just getting at that, Steve.
Because you've been waiting the whole show.
I have. Like,
where's burning a hole in his pocket?
Yeah. We're getting close to the end of our show here, and I was like, man, I got to get this out. Like, where did the Lucky Lighter League come from? Where did it start?
All right.
And I'm jealous I'm not one of the originals, because they get taken care of very well.
Ms. Freak's pointing at me for this one. So I will say this was, probably our second full year of doing this stuff, or we were winding up the first year, getting into the second year. And Ms. Freak decided we needed to up our game in terms of our awards appearance. We needed to look a little sharper. We already had the Killer Smoke Freaks logo. A good buddy of mine had done that right when we were getting started. But, we didn't have any real swag other than white shirts. We got white T-shirts made with the logo on it. And about halfway into the first season, we realized, boy, I was dumb.
That's why teams don't have white shirts.
Nobody in barbecue has a white shirt because it looks just absolutely gross within 2 competitions or so. So Ann was filling up a cart with just tons and tons of swag. And I was looking at the price go up and up and up. Finally, I'm like, man, this seems like it's getting kind of expensive. Let me see this catalog. And I saw that they had lighters. And I said, hold on, we need to get these too. And so the Lucky Lighter was born that year. We started rolling them out, I think, in the fall of 2016, I want to say. So it was pretty late in the year, probably just 2 comps left. That's why there's only 17 members of the OG 17. We didn't know that many people at that point, and there was only just a couple comps left. But that's how it all got started. And gosh, by now we've given away hundreds and hundreds of these things. We order 300 of them every year. We keep about 10 of them kind of locked away in a safe of each run, just pass down to our non-existent offspring. But other than that, we just thought it was probably the coolest barbecue swag that we could possibly do, and it turned out they were lucky. That was the best thing. We started passing them out to people, and they said they started doing better. Yeah. So we just ran with that. Since then, people have gotten out of speeding tickets with their lucky lighters. We've passed them out in these 3 continents, and every now and then I'll be out in a random place and someone is using a lighter, or they hand it to me, and it's my own lighter, and I'm like, man, that's the coolest thing ever.
That's pretty.
And they ask someone for a light, and your logo's on a lighter.
Right.
They are lucky.
Now that we got the. I know Steve didn't bring out his stuff.
But mine's in the cabinet, and I saw it this morning, and I told myself, you got to get your Lucky Lighter League cup out so that you have it for tonight, and I forgot.
Well, that's okay. Ryan's representing.
Ryan's got it.
Whether you've got your cup or not, you're still part of the Lucky Lighter League, and we're glad to have you.
I know that the sticker's up at the store, so I know the sticker's up at the store, and people look at it, and they want to ask, and I don't even ask them if they want to ask, but I can see them looking at it like, what is that sticker's up there, and they're just like, what
How do I get in on that?
Yeah, what is that?
So this is going on. I don't know if you guys have seen anything. I built an outdoor kitchen and stuff. So once I do my bar top, all my stickers are going on there. So that one's saved to get into the bar top once it's completed.
That's awesome. I'd love to see when it's all said and done. That's a great.
Yeah. And if you need more stickers, either of you just hit us up. We'll drop one in an envelope. We love trading stickers. Anybody out there, they got barbecue stickers or other good stickers.
Hashtag sticker swap.
We like swapping stickers.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah. Stickers are fun. Well, I have stickers. I just haven't
hard time. Every single time we go somewhere, if we're doing the barbecue love tour and I'm handing out stickers, and he's like, "Oh, here goes Ryan with his stickers." It's just, it's fun.
He's like the Fuller brush man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, here's my sticker. Here's my sticker. People like a sticker.
He knows the barbecue family very well. We like to collect things. We like to collect smokers, stickers, and trophies.
And we like to celebrate our buddies.
Yeah,
barbecue family, right?
Yeah, we got ours
barbecue
all over our trailer door, so everywhere we go, we'll see people driving along next to us, and everyone's been reading the stickers on the door. So it's pretty clear to everyone what we're about.
Yeah. So I have a buddy that just traveled around, and he on his RV or on his trailer on the back, he's got all his follow me on Instagram, all of his stuff out there, and he's actually gained a lot of followers just from driving around and people seeing that. So.
Yeah,
I bet he had real graphics or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that helps.
The back of our wolf wagon, it's all written in crayon. We just started coloring the back. It all started one night in Winthrop Harbor, and they had a carnival set up there, and we made great friends with the people who were running the carnival. They were let's say various backgrounds is kind of a nice way to put it, but barbecue family's pretty open group of people, so. It's another way to say we ended up partying with these guys all weekend, and by the end of it all, they were all coloring our wolf wagon with crayons. I think we won that one. That was our first GC we ever won, and we were giving away all our leftovers to the carnival guys. Of course, they were just on cloud 9 because they knew we'd won, so they were like, "This must be the best barbecue anyone ever made."
Yeah. Somehow seeing the barbecue family and carnies partying together
there's a lot in common. Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
They travel around
from
together.
Town to town. They travel in a pack, and they got crappy trailers.
Will we ever see you guys at a griddle battle?
I don't know.
We'll never say never. Yeah, you got the second one. I know. Congratulations on your success.
Yeah, I would love to do that. We've been getting more and more into our Blackstone since we moved out here to Indiana. We were on a wood deck before, and it was just always so messy. So now we can always just, push that thing out in the gravel and get sloppy with it. So we've done probably more cooking on it the last summer than we had in the last 4 years, I would say.
We've been taking our leftover steaks from SCA home and there's only, and we do a lot of practice with the leftover steaks, but sometimes we just cut them up and run fajitas on the Blackstone, and it's just a special meal.
One of
Really
my
delicious,
favorite
fresh
things.
meal.
Don't need to do much of anything fancy with them. Put on one of our favorite seasonings and just call that good.
Let her go.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about doing leftovers and stuff. I just talked to Sean and from Risky Brisket, and I'll be doing some of his classes, a little add-on. So
Nice.
on the griddle at his classes. It's coming.
What?
I can't be at Wanamaker's because I'm going to be in Indiana at a tournament, so I couldn't do it at that one.
Wow.
But
Snubbed me. Snubbed
No.
me.
Snubbed again. Snubbed.
soccer takes
Snubbed.
precedence. You know, I'm not giving up stuff with my son for anything. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
but yeah,
Especially
so
at that
we're
age.
actually going to do some griddle cooking at his barbecue classes that he does, just to show people that you can cook that big piece of meat and still have leftovers, and this is something you can do with it. So
Very cool.
it's crazy to think where when I first met you guys I think I say this on just about every show is to where I've come and what barbecue has brought me to,
Yeah.
and meeting all the people and getting together and people you call family, and you don't see them for a while. I mean, I don't even remember last time I seen you guys in person, but it's we just pick up right where you left off and keep going.
That's right. Pick up where you left off.
So
Yeah.
Ryan, what's the most elaborate thing you're cooking on the Blackstone these days?
The most elaborate thing, I don't know. I'm kind of
unexpected. Something that I'm going to be surprised by here.
Hashtag Handsome's grilled cheese.
Yes, my son is hashtag handsome as he goes by on all over the internet, because he's actually going to compete in the griddle battle in October. So he's been doing some practicing. Fred from Bird Kitchens that won the grand champion of the first one, he won a 22-inch griddle in a stand and actually gave it to hashtag handsome. So he now has his own Blackstone.
That's awesome. I
To
didn't know
use. I don't know, most elaborate thing, I've been trying to get into a lot more pastas. I did when I was doing some other ambassador competitions for other companies that I'm with. They were having like challenges and stuff. Like I did an ahi tuna sandwich with the wasabi mayo.
Mr. Gallo says the parrotfish.
Oh yes,
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing. I can't even bring up a picture of it. Let me see.
Wait, is that like Nemo?
It's
Cooking Nemo. It's a new movie from Blackstone.
Cooking Nemo. Just keep cooking. Just keep cooking.
Just keep cooking. It's not done yet.
Parrotfish is a real thing. I don't know how well this is going to show on here. Let's see if I can change this. I'll make it.
You can do it. Whoa.
So that's the parrotfish.
Looks like Dory.
It was amazing to cook, and this is the final.
Oh, I smashed that. Double smash.
Yeah.
Nice. That
Nice.
does look good.
That looks amazing, dude.
Yes, the parrotfish was fun. It was fun. Blackstone flew the griddle crew out to Utah, so we actually got to see Blackstone headquarters and some new things that are coming out, which I can't talk about yet. All those
Why not?
NDA signs.
Are they good at least? Good things coming out?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not. I haven't even told my wife about it. That's how excited I am about it. Because if I start talking about it now, when I go to buy one, she's not going to be happy.
There's only 5 people watching, Ryan, so I'm sure that no one would say anything.
I love seeing someone else's camera roll and knowing that it's very similar to all the meals and things and dishes.
Yeah, how many steak pictures do you think are on your camera roll right now?
I have like 14,000.
I have more pictures of food than I do my family on here, but
back that up.
Yeah, you should back that up.
yeah, Jeff, that wasn't around here. We actually got the parrotfish in Salt Lake City, Utah, on our way up to Blackstone headquarters.
I'm wondering the same thing, Jeff. Where does one get a parrotfish? I mean, doesn't look like it's from around here.
It was at an Asian restaurant or Asian grocery store, and we went in. We were trying to look for something in their seafood department. We were thinking like a shark steak would be something different to cook. And we walked through, and they had 2 of these things, just that bright blue, just popped right out of the color. We're like, we want those. We'll take both of them.
We don't know what they are.
Give me
but we
those
want
blue
them.
things.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will take them. Yeah.
Bill's got a comment there. Yeah.
There'll be a carnival at Saluting the Smoke in Yorkville, September 15th to 17th, benefiting the veterans for Mission 0 Hours. If you guys looking for that, check out mzhh.org. I'll be there Friday and Saturday all day, both days, volunteering my time, cooking, and whatever else I can do to help out anywhere.
What's up, Wild Bill? How you doing, man?
Some good stuff. But, well, freaks, it's been a pleasure. I don't know. Did you have something else, Steve? Or
Well, I just thought before we go, the freaks have evolved not only from barbecue to SCA to the whole hog cooks, but they are also working with my good friend Jeff up there at the Barbecue Pro Shop, and they've done a great job with doing some videos and getting that place brick and mortar opened and ready to go. Though I do have to say, Mr. Freak on video did look a little stiff on some of those earlier commercials. So but it did get across, and it looks really neat. I have not been up there yet to take a look at it. But why don't you guys just give us a little bit of the Barbecue Pro Shop, because I know they started off doing a huge business online, but now they do have a brick and mortar spot. And tell us a little bit more about just quickly about how you guys are involved and what you do, because I know you guys also have a show which you can plug as well if you want to, if you so want to. You're welcome to.
Sure. I think you're referencing the recent grand opening of the Flavor Showroom at Barbecue Pro Shop in Northbrook, Illinois, and that was an occasion for folks to see, everything available for sale for walk-in traffic, pickups, local pickups, that kind of thing. And it was a really cool event. Brian and I were able to be present and just give a lot of flavor knowledge and suggestions for folks that were stopping in. I like to cook salmon. What do you think about salmon seasonings? And I don't know, we love talking flavor. So that was really a fun opportunity to make, real personal connections. And we sold a lot of this seasoning that night.
This Blanco. Oh my God, this stuff is
This
magic.
is an amazing seasoning.
Wow.
Rio Valley meets Blanco.
Yeah. And we also got to meet this guy.
Yep.
Hugh Dells. Yeah.
His stuff is so good. We used a bunch of this very one, the Gold Dust,
On the whole hog.
we did last couple weekends ago. But really, our main story with Barbecue Pro Shop these days, Jeff's been a great sponsor of ours going back years and years. But when COVID hit, all of a sudden, we didn't have any competitions to go to, and we were kind of holed up down in my mom's basement in the very earliest days. We just lost my father, and we were kind of trying to figure out what our next move was going to be. So we had a lot of time on our hands to just, put our feet up on the desk and noodle where we should go with our barbecue lives. And we had the epiphany that buying seasonings online is incredibly hard if you don't know what you want. If you know you want a bottle of Cimarron Docks, you just go buy one. But if you're shopping for something new, you don't really have anything to go on except the label. And the labels all say the same thing. It's great on everything. Pork, chicken, beef, everything. And, somewhere back on the back, there's ingredients. And most of those are pretty much the same too.
The same. Yeah.
They got salt, they got pepper, they got garlic, they have sugar. Some of them have sugar. So we had this epiphany that, man, wouldn't it be great if we could develop a tool to help people know what was in the bottle when they're shopping for this stuff online? And that was kind of the genesis idea of what became the Factory Team Flavor Guide. And as we got into developing it, we did all the things we do in our consulting group, our consulting career. Before we started coding anything or designing anything or even coming up with a much of a plan, we user tested the idea with various people across the barbecue world to figure out, does anybody need this? Would a tool like this be valuable? And people universally thought it would be, but they said, man, you're nuts if you think you're going to do that, because it's just such a daunting thing. But here we are, 400 plus seasonings later, which amounts to thousands of blind taste tests.
439.
We have we have a pretty handy resource that people all over the country are using. And whether you're buying from BBQ Pro Shop or not, the tool is free and available for everybody to go and get the flavor profile of any barbecue seasoning that we've evaluated. And what we do is we break down the dimensions of salt, sweet, savory, and heat. We test all these things, both of us blinded, so we don't know what's in the bottle, and record 27 different data points that ultimately lead to the thing that is the BBQ Pro Shop Factory Team Flavor Guide. So in the beginning, it was really learning how to taste. You know, we weren't really trained at that kind of thing, but just like you can learn to be a wine taster, you can learn to be a flavor detector or a seasonings evaluator. And we just had to develop techniques for doing that could be perfectly repeatable so that we're able to, you know, really give the best, most fair evaluation.
Systematic manner. Yeah.
It's very systematic.
Nice. Well, that's good. You guys do a great job. And it looked really neat. And they all have, I think, Brian, when you were doing your video, I think it had, everything's got a little QR code that you can scan each item if you're in the brick and mortar, that will give you all that, link you right to that guide of that item. And so that's pretty cool. That's a whole different way of shopping. Yep.
We've got a lot of plans for where we'd like to take it next. It's all data driven. So there's, you know, the computing side of me just sees all kinds of connections that we can do with that stuff to make it even more useful. So that's really what we're looking forward to next in our barbecue careers. Of course, we're going to go down and win Murfreesboro with J-Bob, hopefully. And, you know, then it's back to the flavor test. And winter is long, so we hole up here and do a lot of cooking and just testing different seasonings every week.
Excellent. Well, thanks, guys. That's all I had. I'm all out.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to be on the show, and I'll probably be seeing you on the way to Murfreesboro because, like I said, I got to get some of that blues hog.
When do you plan on stopping in?
Oh, I don't know. How many bags of blues hog do you have left? I need to hurry. I could have.
No, it's just that I think Murfreesboro weekend is the same weekend because it's like the last weekend in September, isn't it?
The 23rd, 22nd.
Yeah,
23rd.
we're leaving the morning of the 20th, so it'd be.
Oh, I'll be in town. Okay, because I know I'm gone that last weekend in September. I didn't want to miss you guys.
I think my ribs at Wichita Packing on the 15th, so that's probably when I go out by you because I'm already going to be in Chicago at that point.
Okay.
Well, once I bit the bullet and went through Chicago, I might as well just keep going out to you.
Yeah, right. The other side of the suburb, right?
Yeah, the other suburb of Chicago.
The other suburb of Chicago. Yes, there's Indiana and
and the rest of the state.
Right. Triangle.
Right. Well, let me know. Message me how many bags you think you're going to think, just because I don't keep a ton of it on hand. I usually have 6 or 7 bags on hand at the most.
Yeah, I can get by on just a couple. I've got a few in the shed. I just need to make sure I got enough. You know, you got to cook a lot of ribs down there because you got to be ready for finals where they're going to make
4 bags. Not, so. 4 bags.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say
I'll make sure I'll have extra for you for the.
All right. We'll see you then, man. Thank you.
All right. See you, freaks.
Thank you, guys. Freak on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Wow, I love the free. It's probably they're probably one of the greatest barbecue family members anybody could have.
Yeah, they're always a pleasure to be around. Always willing to help out. Like I said, I mean, I know they kicked my tail by that whole 1,000th of a point in turkey smoke. It was fun though. It was fun to cook next to them. That's back when they still had the U-Haul. They were taking the U-Haul around.
Wow.
It's so funny, like being in the show here. Like, you know, you guys can, everybody that's watching can see Steve and I, but we can see Ann down in the box still laughing or talking. But yeah, good show, good times. The Smoke Freaks, guys, go check them out if you haven't already. They're all over Facebook. BBQ Pro Shop, OBR.org if you haven't. It's great to have. Is it Brian and Nick?
Brian and Nick, yep.
On here. Such great things that they're doing down there and everywhere. So if you guys can, go to obr.org, make sure you hit that donate button. And if you're ever thinking about being able to volunteer or anything like that, sign up now, do your background check. I don't believe there's a fee for it, right? There's no fee.
No, I think it's.
Oh,
I think
they got
it's. I
rid of
think
that.
it's. I think it's covered. I think somehow it's covered.
Okay, but yeah, go do it. Sign up now. That way you're good to go. And if you have time to go volunteer and go to a tour, or what's it called? Not a
Deployment.
tour.
They call it deployment.
Deployment. That's what I was thinking.
Deployment. Yeah.
But yeah, that way you're ready to go. That way, if you can go and you can do it, then you're there for it. So.
Yep.
But yeah, good show, Steve.
It was a good show. We ran a little long, but that's okay because we had the guys from Barbecue Relief in. I will second everything that Ryan said about Operation Barbecue Relief. It is a very rewarding experience if you have. It's hard to explain it until you've actually done it. But to work side by side with a great bunch of people doing a great thing and doing it in some of the, I mean, the two deployments in Louisiana, I mean, every day I think the heat index averaged about 108 degrees, and part of last year's deployment it was 108 degrees, and you're working side by side with a bunch of people that just learn to get it done, and we all look out for each other and take care of each other, and it's a big family experience. It's a bonding experience, but the big thing is you're doing a lot of good work. I think if I had to add up all my meals, I think I'm somewhere over 1 million meals that I've served to people from my deployments, and then when you actually put it into that context, I know I was talking about it earlier, that you've had a hand in feeding 1 million people. That's a lot of flipping people, and it's. Yeah, each one was just as rewarding. The first one is just as rewarding as the last one that we did last year in Port Charlotte. So if you can get on there, like Ryan said, get to operationbbqrelief.org or obr.org, make a donation. But even better yet, if you can do it, if you're into barbecue and you're looking to extend that to a charity type of situation, sign up and volunteer. There is no time commitment, so it's not like they're going to say like, oh, you got to do a certain amount of time every year. There isn't. You can do what you want. And then also, as Ryan was mentioning earlier, you don't have to travel to Florida. You don't have to fly to Hawaii. They were just in Hawaii last Thanksgiving. I mean, I wouldn't mind flying to Hawaii, right. But last Thanksgiving, I know Sonny Lynn and I went up to Palatine Weber Grill, which is a sponsor of Operation Barbecue Relief. They did a Thanksgiving event up there, so there was a need for volunteers to go up there and help with that event, and we did that. And so there are things that can be done locally. They do have their always serving project and their barbecue basic classes and stuff like that. So there's things that you can do that don't have to require you to travel all over. I do recommend if you can get to some of the bigger deployments, because it is simply amazing when you get done. To sit there at the end of the day and just that you just kicked out 53,000 meals, and I don't know how many pounds of meat that is, but
a lot.
It's a lot. So with that, because we're running way long, Ryan, thank you as always for being on. Next week's guest, if anybody's still watching, hopefully will be Richard Fergala, Mr. Fergalicious Barbecue. Hopefully he will be on. I know he was originally slated for today, but I think he's doing something with the Kansas City Chiefs football game, because I guess today is football opener, I guess, somewhere.
It's on right now.
Yeah, that's why nobody's watching us, which I can't blame them. But
yeah,
we're here. But anyway, so hopefully Fergalicious Barbecue, Richard Fergala will be on here next week, Thursday, 7:00. I'll be here.
I'd like to say, though, it is I just looked at the viewers, and the 3 viewers that are here are watching on It's All About the Barbecue. They're not on the Barbecue Blackstone Beer page.
Wow, it's new. So if you are, please follow It's All About the Barbecue.
That's where they're watching from.
I know, but I'm just saying. I know it's too late. You can't tell your friends to follow it, because we need to grow the followers on that page, so that this show goes further. Or if you can't, share it. But recommend, because it was different when I was doing the other show. That group and that page had a lot more followers than this one, so it's harder to get a lot of viewers when you're views when you only got 70 followers.
1 follower at a time.
One follower, that's all you can do. So anyway, all right, buddy. Let's
Appreciate
end
it.
this thing.
Yeah, you guys have a good one. Don't forget, every Thursday night, it's all about the barbecue and barbecue Blackstone and beer. Thursday night barbecue chat, 7 p.m. Central. Come hang out with us. Invite your friends. Have some fun. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
This was a long show. Good night, everybody.